In the autumn of 1961, the world teetered on the brink of annihilation as the Cuban Missile Crisis loomed on the horizon. Behind the scenes of this tense geopolitical chess game, a daring and covert Soviet operation unfolded, codenamed Operation Cedar. It was a mission of high stakes, deception, and cunning, designed to smuggle missile components into Cuba under the watchful eyes of the United States. Cuba, under Fidel Castro, had become a Soviet ally and a thorn in the side of the United States. Seeking to counteract American nuclear missiles stationed in Turkey and Italy, Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev devised a bold strategy: install nuclear missiles in Cuba, just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. The operation required secrecy of the highest order, and Operation Cedar became the linchpin of this audacious plan. Under the cover of darkness and elaborate ruses, Soviet freighters began transporting the missile components across the Atlantic. Disguised as shipments of agricultural equipment and other innocuous goods, the cargo was meticulously packed and concealed. Even the ships themselves were altered, their deck configurations modified to obscure the true nature of their cargo. The Soviet sailors aboard were sworn to secrecy, their mission cloaked in an atmosphere of paranoia and urgency. The journey was perilous. American reconnaissance efforts, both aerial and naval, posed a constant threat of exposure. Soviet operatives relied on misinformation and diversionary tactics to evade detection. False shipping manifests, misleading radio transmissions, and even simulated drills helped the freighters avoid interception. As the missile components arrived in Cuba, another layer of the operation unfolded. Soviet military engineers and advisors worked tirelessly to assemble the launch sites in the dense Cuban countryside. Construction proceeded at breakneck speed, shielded by camouflage netting and the cover of night. Cuban forces provided additional security, ensuring that prying eyes would not jeopardize the mission. Despite their best efforts, the operation could not remain hidden forever. In October 1962, American U-2 reconnaissance planes captured photographs of the missile installations. The images sparked an international crisis, as President John F. Kennedy demanded the immediate removal of the missiles. For 13 days, the world held its breath, fearing the outbreak of nuclear war. The Cuban Missile Crisis ended with a tense diplomatic resolution. Khrushchev agreed to withdraw the missiles from Cuba in exchange for a U.S. pledge not to invade the island and the secret removal of American missiles from Turkey. Operation Cedar, though ultimately exposed, had brought the Soviet Union closer than ever to directly challenging the United States on its own doorstep. Operation Cedar remains a testament to the audacity of Cold War espionage and brinkmanship. It showcased the lengths to which the Soviet Union would go to shift the balance of power and the razor-thin margin between survival and catastrophe during this era of nuclear rivalry. Even today, the story of Operation Cedar serves as a chilling reminder of how close humanity came to self-destruction, and how the shadows of covert operations can ignite crises that alter the course of history. The ghosts of those freighters laden with their deadly cargo still haunt the waters of the Atlantic, a silent echo of a time when the world stood on the edge of the abyss.